Hey, how's it going? So, I want to discuss some ways that you could deal with coming uh, hyperinflation. You've seen, prices rise. They're up now. It's up to about 7.5%, the CPI over last year, and for everything that I could see, it looks like it's going higher. The government's been printing huge amounts of money, and you can't run an economy on printing money, and you saw that many instances. You know, countries they get destroyed by this, and that's I mean one reason the government does it is that it decreases the value of their debt, but then no one wants to lend them money anymore in the future. So what's going on here could be, pretty catastrophic. So you got to do what you can. You got to think about the issue. You got to really do research so you understand it, and that you have some strategies for trying to deal with it. Um, I could you come out ahead? I guess you can, but you got to try not to lose everything. I mean, if inflation goes up to, which it very well might, in the near term, if it goes up to 25, percent a year, and you have cash, it's just going to disappear. So anyway, I made a list of about, 10 ideas I have. I don't, uh, so the first idea, which I think is kind of an obvious one, is that I would uh, try to own some real estate, whether it's land. These things, should go up a lot, with rising interest rates. And another thing you should be able to do is, as you're going to see the prices go up, people are going to become a lot more violent. I mean, that could be part of why you're seeing that, in the New York subways now. And you should know how to defend yourself. I don't know if you want to carry around a weapon, but you should really. I mean, if you have assets that people want to get a hold of, and society's breaking down, you gotta know how to hold on to those things. Um, Something else you could think of doing is getting solar power. It's very possible you're going to see some huge spikes, in energy prices, and beyond what you would think would be possible. So that's something you can look into. I would try to store supplies of food, like nuts, grains. Honey's probably a good one to store. Uh, and I would spend some time, every week, watching a couple of YouTube videos, about inflation and how to deal with it. You'll hear people who have interesting ideas, and you know, inflation's a little bit like the virus. I mean, he'd never seen anything like the virus and didn't know how to react to it. And inflation's very similar to that. So you really need to educate yourself and become familiar with, what you're going to need to do. Another thing you should do is to tell your friends about what's going on. Because if you help them now, in the future, if things get really bad, they're more likely to be helpful to you. Um, I think you want to try to hold on to physical assets, whether they're car tires or collectibles, whatever it is. And you might want to, put some money into certain collectibles you think could really go up in this type of environment. Uh, I mentioned before, stock up on food and supplies that won't go bad. Canned foods, toilet paper, soap. Um, you know, uh, I would try to hold on to your iPhone. Um, buy some vegetable seeds. Have a store of those, so you could always, if you need to, you can grow vegetables. Um, And I would also make sure that you know how to grow food with hydroponics. The biggest, if you're in a cold environment, that's going to be helpful. But anyway, the gist of this is I'm really just trying to get you, to think about, what's happening here. The government's telling you that all the stuff is, because of supply chain and then it's going to get better. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that the government's been freely printing money. I mean, I see tons of people around me when I go to the supermarket who have their baskets are all filled, and I don't know who these people are. It doesn't look like they could really make a living, and this, one after another, and they're spending, huge amounts of money in the grocery store. I don't know where all these people get their money from. So, and when I listen to the radio and I listen to the commercials, it's not for people really selling products. It's for lawsuits or that you should gamble on sports. It's not really people creating things, and that's not a good sign. So anyway, hope you learned something, and just keep your eyes and ears open, and really try to educate yourself. Good luck.